Hello, welcome back. It is Meredith and today I am going to be doing a little chatty video talking about some books on my TBR that have disability representation. So for those that do not know, I am participating in the MS Readathon this month, which is a charity organisation readathon here in Australia. The money does go towards families in Australia with multiple sclerosis, and I will link all the information down in the description if you want to learn more, and my donation page will be linked if you would like to donate. But yeah, this is all about raising money and awareness for multiple sclerosis. I did do a reading vlog, reading books with disability rep. I will link that if you want to watch it. But I also wanted to do this video as well to chat about a few other books because I had so many books to pick from for the vlog, and so I thought I'd still chat about the other ones that I didn't get to that are still on my TBR that I hope to read. So the first one I have on my TBR is a non-fiction, and that is Disfigured. So this is a kind of exploration around media and disability rep. I think it talks a lot about Disney as well, what that is portraying and how people with disability are represented in the media. I've heard really great things about this. I've been wanting to read it for years. So yeah, that is the first book on my TBR. Next, I have Survival Kit, which is a zombie apocalypse, like urban fantasy romance, and it's sapphic, and one of the characters is in a wheelchair. Now, I have seen this on Own Voices author lists. I don't know for certain whether this is the case. I can't find a lot of information. I'm not very good at finding information on authors. I'm not the best at researching stuff, so just keep that in mind. This series is called Disabled in the Age of Zombies, so they're all books about characters with disabilities surviving zombie apocalypses, which I think is great. It's about two women. They decide to go where the dead can't follow, their family cabin on a remote island. But they have to fight their way out of the city first. And so it's about them surviving together. I've had this on my TBR for a while. I really need to get to it. I was hoping to get to it for my vlog, but I didn't end up getting time, but fingers crossed I can get to it soon. Next, I have here basically a whole series, not necessarily one book, which is the All Access series by Evie Mitchell. So one of these is Own Voices because one has Crohn's disease representation and the author does have that. The rest I do not believe are Own Voices, but I've heard really good things about these books. So the first one is Not My Type, which is a romance with a character in a wheelchair, and she's learning about BDSM because she's into that, and it's all about learning about that in a safe way. And I think she has a romance with the guy that's teaching her about it. I've heard really good things. So I'm really excited to give this series a go, and I believe Evie Mitchell is Australian as well. Is that correct? So just another great reason to support this author. Then next I have Getting Schooled by Christina C. Jones. Now I have read a lot of Christina C. Jones. I do not believe this is Own Voices. So this book has disability rep with the male character having a prosthetic leg. So this one seems to be an enemies to lovers. The heroine has a job as like a grad assistant, and the male character is really rude to her, and he's like a student. This is an adult romance because they're 26 and 28, but it is in a school setting. I love Christina C. Jones books, so I'm excited to give this one a go. This next one is another series, which is the Bergman Brothers books. This is an Own Voices author. They do have autism, and so there's autism rep in, I believe, all of the books. I have read A Christmas Romance from Coalesce, which did have the autism rep, and I really enjoyed that book. So I'm really excited to read more from this author. So the first one is Only When It's Us. This one has a heroine that plays soccer, which I feel like so many Australians right now are super into women's soccer. But this one also sounds like a school, possibly setting, enemies to lovers. It just says here, I've battled men before, but with Ryder, it's war. I'll get those notes and crack that Sasquatch nut. If it's the last thing I do, then I'll have him at my mercy. Victory will have never tasted so sweet. So yeah, it says here, it's a frenemies to lovers college sports romance about a women's soccer star and her surly lumberjack lookalike classmate, complete with a matchmaking professor, juvenile pranks, and a smoking slow burn. I want to read this so bad. Oh my god. This next one is called Out on a Limb. It doesn't currently have an audiobook, so I'm like waiting for that because if you don't know, I pretty much do most of my reading by audio because I'm a very busy person. So this one also has representation with the prosthetic leg, and this one's about a one-night stand that goes really well, and I think it sounds like they want more, but they don't know, and it's like this steamy, slow burn, angsty romance, which is like my thing. I love angst. So yeah, that one just sounds really good, and again, I've heard really good things about it. This next one is Own Voices Rep, so the author does have this condition. The book is one for all. So the representation in this one is POTS, which is a chronic health condition. And it's like a Three Musketeers kind of retelling about a character with this condition. So it says here, an Own Voices gender-bent retelling of the Three Musketeers in which a girl with a chronic illness trains as a musketeer and uncovers secrets, sisterhood, and love. Oh, this has LGBTQI+ rep. I'm not sure where that comes in. I thought it was sapphic, but now I'm actually not sure if it is. But yeah, I'm excited to find out. So I really have been wanting to read that one for a while, so I really need to get to it. This next one is Unseelie, which has autism representation. I don't know if it's Own Voices. I will put down here if it is or not. I have to do some research. This is about two twin sisters who are on the run, but different as day and night. One, a professional rogue, searches for a fabled treasure. The other, a changeling, searches for the truth behind her origins, trying to find a place to fit in with the realm of Fae who made her and the humans shun her. But as an autistic changeling trying to navigate her unpredictable magic, Seelie finds it more difficult to fit in with humans around her. So this one's YA, it's got Fae. I'm super excited to give this a go. The last three I have here are manga, so if you don't care about manga, thanks for joining. But if you want to hear about some manga that I do have on my TBR as well, let's keep going. Now, this first one, I have read the first book, but I do want to continue on with this series. It's called A Sign of Perfection. This one has deaf representation. I do not believe it is Own Voices. So it's about a young woman that wears hearing aids. She is deaf, and she kind of has this like cute, like very, very wholesome romance with this guy at a bar with this bartender, and it's so cute. The art is absolutely adorable. It's beautiful, and it was just wholesome and sweet. So if you want that kind of vibe, I highly recommend picking this one up, and I'm very excited to continue with the series. Then I have here I Hear the Sunspot. This is a male romance. It's YA, and it has deaf representation again, I believe. So the guy that has the hearing disability does keep to himself. He isolates himself because of his condition, and it's about his like friendship, wholesome romance with this guy that kind of tries to let him into his life. I've heard really good things about this one. This one's pretty popular. I'm surprised I've never gotten to it, but it's on my TBR. I'll get to it eventually, fingers crossed. Now, this last one I had heard about before, and it wasn't my TBR, but recently Kirsty talked about this, so I will link her video down below where she talked about it. I had this on my TBR for a while. I really do need to get to it. It's a romance about these two classmates, and the guy is in a wheelchair, and so it's kind of their romance, and Kirsty made it sound super wholesome. It's also about the heroine like confronting her prejudices and her assumptions. I think that that's really important and definitely worth discussing, because a lot of people that do not have a disability are not just amazingly aware of things. I know I'm still learning a lot. So I think it's really great to read a book about a character with prejudices actually learning and growing. And so yeah, that makes me also really interested in this one. So that's also on my TBR. But yeah, that is going to do it for today's video. Thank you so much for joining me. Please let me know in the comments if you're going to read any of these, and if you have any recommendations of books with disability representation, please let me know in the comments. I'd love to look the books up. So yeah, I would absolutely love to know, and thank you so much for watching, and I'll hopefully see you in another video. And remember, all those links are down in the description. But until next time, bye!